Sign it today, Vivian Hartwell said, placing the foreclosure packet on my kitchen table.
Or Regional Trust. Richers initiates seizure by Friday.
She didn't sit. Her heel clicked once against the hardwood. Sharp. Final. Outside, wind moved through the oak trees my grandfather planted after coming home from the war. Inside, my dog just watched her, still as stone. I looked down at the document. Acceleration clause. Full balance due. 10 days. No extension noted. Then I looked up at her. You might want to be real careful, I said evenly, which bank you threaten me with. She smiled like I was bluffing. She had no idea. 3 years ago, I walked away from work inside rooms most people never see. I don't talk about it. Let's just say I've watched institutions bend without breaking, and sometimes break without warning. I came back to Tennessee and bought back the farmhouse my family almost lost in the 80s. Repaired the barn roof myself. Replaced fence posts my father set 30 years ago. Planted corn in soil that remembers every generation that touched it. Across the road, Maple Ridge Estates rose fast. Identical mailboxes. Trimmed hedges. HOA bylaws thicker than a church Bible. Didn't concern me. Until Vivian decided my land didn't match her symmetry. Vivian didn't manage the HOA. She curated it. Grass above 2.5 inches. Violation. Basketball hoop visible from the street. Warning. She once corrected a neighbor's grammar in the community newsletter and signed it. Maintaining excellence. She called my red barn an aesthetic disruption. She described tractor noise as acoustic instability. Ma'am. It's a farm. When she tried to extend HOA jurisdiction over the access road bordering my property, I declined. Politely. That's when the letters began. The certified envelope arrived on a Tuesday. Regional Trust Bank. Due default to community infrastructure noncompliance. Full mortgage balance due within 10 days. I read it twice. Then a third time. I don't miss payments. Ever. I called servicing. 42 minutes on hold. 3 transfers. A representative explained updated documentation had been submitted through a third-party compliance channel 2 weeks earlier. Submitted by a developer liaison tied to Maple Ridge. My chest tightened. Someone had moved paper they had no right to move. 2 days later, a temporary lien appeared on public record. Temporary. Didn't feel temporary. That evening, a truck slowed outside my fence. Then another. Folks pretending not to look. By midnight, I was still at the kitchen table. 2:14 a.m. The foreclosure notice lay open under the light. When I reached for my coffee, my hand shook. That surprised me. I've handled larger numbers than this. But this wasn't numbers. This was land. My land. And 10 days is short in banking. Across from me lived Mrs. Helena Kowalski. 42 years in her home. Her late husband's World War II medals framed above the mantel. Vivian cited her twice last year for driveway discoloration. That same week, Mrs. Kowalski received a reassessment notice. She thought it meant they were taking her house. I found her sitting on her porch, letter folded and unfolded so many times it barely held shape. I paid this house off in 1998, she kept saying. Her hands wouldn't stop folding the paper. That's when this stopped being about me. This wasn't enforcement. It was pressure. And pressure applied through a bank? That's intentional. Day 6. A second formal notice arrived. Foreclosure review scheduled pending documentation verification. There it was. A date. That one hit. For a moment, just a moment, I wondered if I'd miscalculated something years ago. Missed a clause. Trusted the wrong person. I walked the fence line. That evening longer than usual. Ran my hand over the posts my dad installed. For the first time, losing it didn't feel dramatic. It felt procedural. And that's worse. I didn't storm the bank. I triggered a neutral procedural audit flag buried in compliance policy, automatic, silent, and review mandatory. It forced oversight without accusation. Within days, internal review opened the file. The provisional code used to fast-track my documentation? Improperly applied. The developer liaison who submitted it? Financially connected to Vivian's husband's investment group. 3 other residents had similar flags over the past year. All of them vocal about HOA fee increases. Not explosive fraud. Strategic leverage. Vivian held a meeting. Framed it as protecting property stability. Translation? Me. Whispers started. Neighbors who used to wave didn't. One man asked if I was liquid. I didn't like how much that bothered me. Reputation moves faster than truth. And I could feel mine slipping. Day 8. Vivian returned. Sign it, she said calmly. Or this proceeds. I asked her one question. Do you know who owns controlling interest in Regional Trust? She dismissed it. That's not your concern. I held her gaze. It is. Silence stretched between us. I'm the majority shareholder. The wind moved through the oaks again. She studied my face, looking for hesitation. There wasn't any. You're bluffing. No. This time, she didn't answer. Ownership isn't a magic wand. It's process. I formally recused myself and triggered independent board review. Oversight froze documentation trails tied to provisional codes. Conflict of interest disclosures were requested. My foreclosure timeline? Paused pending investigation. Not erased. Paused. The audit widened. 3 compliance flags linked to HOA disputes. Undisclosed financial overlaps. Repeat use of the same fast-track mechanism. Regulators were notified, formally, quietly. Paperwork that doesn't disappear. Vivian's husband's investment group stopped making appearances at HOA meetings. Then stopped attending altogether. 2 weeks later, every resident of Maple Ridge received an email from Regional Trust's board. Subject line. Correction notice regarding improper compliance submissions. It outlined misapplied review codes. Compliance escalation under investigation. All affected liens voided immediately. No names listed. They didn't need to be. The same trucks that once slowed outside my fence? They didn't slow anymore. Within a month, the lien on my property was permanently removed. The developer liaison was terminated. Vivian resigned effective immediately. The HOA elected a retired school principal. Grass height quietly adjusted to 3.5 inches. Mrs. Kowalski's reassessment vanished. She brought pierogi again. This time, she smiled. Vivian thought the bank was leverage she could borrow. She didn't realize she was pulling on a system I understood better than she did. When you try to corner someone through paperwork, make sure they don't understand the paper more than you. Because sometimes the quiet man fixing his fence isn't just a farmer. And sometimes the foreclosure notice you slide across his table already belongs to him.